Alright, here we go. Day 3, new friends and former enemies, 59th of week. A shipment of infusions has finally arrived this morning. I now have some fey crystals and frozen pine cones. Together with Fable's phoenix chilies, I have 3 infusions now. I'll unpack them later when I have time. I have a feeling they'll be of use soon. Okay. Hey, look! Oh, holy shit. So, innkeep, a drink for me and this lanky pal. It's good to see you too, Caerlin. She meant to say please. Welcome back, Fable. You look alive. Thank you, I am. That seems like a given. I'm just happy to see them doing well, and with a friend. We ain't friends. We're not? You two didn't form a party? No. Oh. And what's the drink about? They may be very annoying, but they did just help me solve a family feud of 10 years. So I do owe them some of your dishwater at the very least. Family feud? I wouldn't call it a feud, more of a miscommunication. No, it was a feud. I feel like a feud implies a certain level of hostility. I was going to kill him. I thought that was a joke. It wasn't. Oh. But no one died. No. Elfie here was able to prevent that. It's Fable. Whatever. Does this perchance have something to do with your quest? It does. I stopped her from killing the werewolf. Elaborate, please. I was going to kill the werewolf. They stopped me from killing the werewolf. What's not to get? A lot. I think she's confused because the quest was to save the villagers from the werewolf. But now it sounded like I saved the werewolf from you. Which I did, kind of. I also remember you saying you didn't want the quest, Caerlin. I didn't. I was there by chance. They were both stealing sheep. Was not. Sure was. Adventuring don't pay what it used to. So you steal other people's sheep? Mind your own business. How did any of this lead to a successful quest? Well, where do I start? Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. Right. I was born on half-crescent dreaming moon of the quest, Fable. Oh, right, the quest. Traveling there was no problem. I know enough shortcuts to get through the Ashen Grove swiftly. I reached the borders of Caerlin around dusk. The Ashen Grove thins out around there, and you can catch a glimpse of the wide fields and the vineyards as you see one farm after another. An idyllic sight, well, at least before sunset. Do you have troubles in the dark? Emotionally? Visually? A little. I mean, I reckon I can still see more than a human could, but darkness is darkness, and I'm not an owl. Thank God, you're already weird enough. Imagine the damage you'd do if you could turn your head all the way around. Who says I can't? Just kidding. Anyway, luckily darkness doesn't affect my hearing. Not the normal kind. What? Nothing. Okay, I heard creaking vents first. I heard a creaking vents and footsteps that were failing at keeping quiet. Your ears are failing at being small. So I snuck closer. I saw a werewolf-esque shape picking up a tiny sheep. I was petting it. Well, I thought she was going to eat it, so I summoned up all my courage and I stepped out of the shadows and I said, "Good evening, werewolf, please put the sheep down." I didn't expect to be entirely in their right mind, of course, but I wanted to be polite, and I thought it might confuse her. Maybe that would help calm her down. Confused me, all right. Who the heck sees a werewolf and the first thing they do is greet them? A polite person. Or an insane one. It worked, didn't it? Because I ain't no werewolf. He wasn't that different, but I'm skipping ahead. To my surprise, instead of a growl, the werewolf, or not werewolf, responded with a, "What?" So the confusion plan had worked, but I hadn't really expected that response. So I said again, "Please put down the sheep." And she asked why. And I said, "Well, because stealing a sheep isn't very nice." And she asked who I was. No, I asked, "Who are you, a guard?" I was about to introduce myself when I heard this blood-curdling howl. It sounded like someone who'd ripped a hole in the fabric of reality and pierced it with a horrid yell. Please, it was barely a bark. And it made the blood freeze in my veins. I heard panting and heavy footsteps, and I barely dared to turn around. You turned around immediately. And then, when I did, I stared into the twisted face of a werewolf, yellow gleaming eyes, gleaming with jaundice. Sharp teeth, giant claws. He looked like he wanted to eat me right up. He did. But before I could beg for mercy, suddenly something rushed past me and lunged at the werewolf. When I regained my composure, Caerlin and the werewolf were on the ground fighting tooth and nail. And the sheep you were holding? Obviously, I'd set it down at this point. Good. So you went to Fable's aid? No, that ain't it. I noticed the werewolf's flannel rags. They were blue-checkered with an uneven print. Just like the kind of stuff Uncle Dagon likes to wear, the old... I'm not even sure what that would be. Buckford? Anyway. Not sure it matters. Hey, why can't I say that? Oh, shit. What the? Youth protection. The age rating system is quite harsh. Ah. Anyway, it was dressed like Uncle Dagon, smelled like Uncle Dragon, fought like him too. I was joking when I brought it up before, you know. Haven't seen the old man in years, was coping about it by joking. That's the only way I can talk about him these days. Because of the feud? Yes. He used to be my favorite uncle, then he changed. Became irritable, angry, distant, fought a lot with Uncle Fedor. Better. Cared more about the moon than he did his own family. Eventually he just left, ran away without a word, left us and Uncle Fedor behind, worried senseless. Until we found a letter saying not to look for him and all their savings missing. Swore I was going to kill him if I ever saw him again. Always thought he just couldn't face up to his problems. Turns out a solution was to get those problems as far away from everyone as possible. Idiot. Did you talk it out with your fists? I tried, but Elfie stopped me. I'm glad they did. How did you figure that out? Well, she was yelling at him, and I didn't understand half of it, but I could tell she was angry and hurt. I tried to get their attention by telling them to stop, but they wouldn't listen, so I shot the arrow right next to both of their heads. My aim was a little shaky, so I did end up grazing Mr. Dragon's ear. But I got them to stop for long enough to start listening to me. I threatened them that if they didn't stop to talk, I would shoot them both. I would never have done that, of course. But they must have believed me, because they actually stopped to listen. Looked mighty scary there, little pal. Thank you. With a question mark? I sat them down and did my best to be an insurmountable obstacle between them. If they wanted to fight, they would have to go through me. That sounds rather dangerous. 'Twas. Wouldn't have stopped for them. What? You're the size of a stick. You think you could stop two angry wolves? Oh, well, anyway, I used the opportunity to figure out what was going on. And that's how I found out about Mr. Dragon and Caerlin and the miscommunication. Feud. The feud, sure. Turns out that after Mr. Dragon was turned, he was too ashamed to admit it. But he couldn't stop the changes and ended up hurting all the people he cared about. That's no excuse, of course. No, it ain't. If we'd have known, we would have helped him as best we could. At least would have built a sturdy shed with a scratch-proof wall for the full moons. He didn't think that would have happened, though. So he decided to fix the problem by leaving, deal with it alone, and so on. But that only made it worse. Of course, he was too embarrassed to come back, so he just focused on the whole werewolf thing and not any human things. Or Vukakin things, so to speak. Trying to find a cure, trying to avoid the mood, trying to find a place to sleep, stealing sheep. That's something they have in common. The sheep? No, the stubbornness, and the unwillingness to ask for help. But the sheep too. ... But they had a talk about it. That silent resentment wasn't good for either of them. And you got them to do that. The little stick is oddly persuasive. Had us talking about it before I even realized I didn't want to. Maybe because you did want to. ... Maybe. How did it go? Fine. We'll take some time to accept his apology. We'll have to see him change first and apologize to Uncle Fedor and the rest. But it was good to see him again. I guess a hug did feel better than a greatsword in his gut. Wonderful. Of course, there's still another problem, the whole werewolf thing. Idiot got so obsessed with a cure that he can barely control himself. We helped him realize that even a cure couldn't change what he'd done. That he has to accept that he's different now and learn how to live again. Of course, it won't be easy. No change ever is. I learned that from you. But we have a group of werewolves living near our settlement. A small community that enjoys the company of our warm trees. We play charades with them a lot, and they taught me about the phases of the 7 moons and the secrets of the moon signs. That sounds like a bunch of expletive. It's real. You're a crescent moose. ... We introduced Mr. Dragon to them, and they promised that they would take him in and help him deal with his lycanthropy. That sounds great. It is. It's a happy ending. I wouldn't call it an ending, rather a beginning of something new. So the end of one adventure is just the beginning of another one. Exactly. I like that. So, after your heroic therapy session, you two decided to grab a drink together. Got offered to spend the day at the settlement, but they don't serve anything strong enough for my tastes. Plus, Elfie was dying to get back here. Was talking about how they needed to update you on everything nonstop. Would think they live here or something. I had to report back about the quest. I'm glad he did. They also started crafting something with the werewolves. Ah. Said something about being for you, innkeep. Oh, really? Yeah. It's not finished yet, but I'll let you know, I promise. It wasn't that hard, was it? Well, yeah. So, a drink. What can I offer you, Caerlin? Surprise me with something that fits my brawn. By which, I mean, make me the usual. Strength never gets old. Okay. Strength. Southern Brawler. One. Ooh. 3. So it was a happy ending for our quest and quest PV. We made the right choice, I think. It feels like it went well. I don't think that would have gone as well as it did had we not chosen the way we did. So it's a good thing we, stopped and thought about it. Because I almost gave her the, Swift Strike. Surprise! Not bad. You should do this professionally. I'll think about it. This game actually does have a couple, really good, little moments. Fable, what about you? Do you have something that'll calm me down? Maybe even bring me some of my agility back? Like a Swift Strike back to my senses. I've had a stressful day, night, morning, sequence of events. Okay. Agility. And then what are we doing? Boop, 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 boop. This one, and it's the intelligence, right? A little sploosh of intelligence. A little sploosh of that. Swift strike, off you go. Here you go. Thank you. Wow, this is perfect. You look tired. Have you considered sleep? They do look like they're going to pass out at any second. So do you. Maybe sleep is a good idea. Caerlin, do you have a place to sleep? I can sleep anywhere. It's a talent. It's depressing. I have a room available. You can stay there. Sounds good. How much? I'll count as payment for your help with the quest. Fine. Later, Elfie. See you late. Are you heading home, Fable? Yes. I've been gone for a whole day. I need to get back and make sure everything's still growing correctly. Maybe take a nap first. Yes, that too. Did you enjoy your first quest? I did. It was scary and different from what I expected. And I didn't know I was so good at pretending to be charming. Have you considered that you weren't pretending? You did well, Fable. Thank you. I hope that wasn't my only adventure. I think it's just the beginning. That would be nice. Do you think I'm going to save the world one day? That's a very tall order. You're right. I'm not cut out for that. I didn't say that. I would just prefer it if the world didn't end. Right. But if it does, you're the first person I'd ask for help. Maybe you should ask Caerlin first. I'd be happy to be second. We'll see. Let's hope we won't. I like this world, and you have a point. We shouldn't hope for such a calamity. Even if it would make for a good song. Or a sad one. Or both. I'm going to head home now. Do that. I'll stock up on quests for you. I can't wait. See you soon. See you soon. Oh, alright. That's afternoon. Now we're into evening. Oh, our friend is back. Look, with the hood down today. ... Good evening to you too. His quest, it wasn't there yesterday. That's correct. Seems dangerous. It is. And mysterious. Sure. Like me. You could be a little less mysterious by telling me your name. Zephir. Did the wind carry you in? No, my legs. I want that quest. Well, you can have it. Not just literally, physically, emotionally. Emotionally? I want to take on that quest, go to the castle to get the cape. I mean, yes. Well, no one has gone to the castle yet, so if someone would like to go, they would be welcome to. So you know of the castle? Yes? It seems strange. It is. A vampire lives there. I heard rumors, whisperings, of strange, fiendish woman residing there. What a coincidence, me too. Has she ever frequented your tavern? No, not recently. But she has? Once. I had a vampire mix her. Interesting. So she was only here at night? Yes. Would you say she was unnaturally pale? No. She had a lot of makeup on. But below that mask. Sure, yes. I would guess she looks pretty dead below that. What kind of drink did she order? Blood. You sell blood? Of course. Whose blood? Did you hear about wolves avoiding the castle? Really? All of them? Yes, she has a lot of werewolf traps set up, but all animals seem to steer clear of Marrow Castle. They say the doors are always locked, so nothing can go inside or leave. And anything that tries to emerges into her land in one way or another. As a grave, a pile of decorative bones, dirt feeding rotting flowers. They say death clings to her doorstep like an everlasting melody. Sounds like a strange place. Like a tomb for something still alive. Or for a goth. Goth vampire. She seems to be a thief. It appears so. Do you not sympathize with that? Thievery is an honorable skill, but it must be performed in secret. Or you're not worth the coins you pocket. Also, stealing a man's cape is just plain rude. I suppose. Only thing worse than that is stealing a man's hat. Not if it's cursed. Especially then. What was that? Oh. Okay, I get it. Not if it's cursed, especially then. Point is, if you can't defend yourself from having your trophies reclaimed, you just live with the consequences. Consequences being you. Exactly. It definitely sounds like you know what you're doing. Of course I do. I'm one with the shadows and the wind, gone before they even notice I'm there. So you could easily swipe something else along with the cape, right? Certainly, gold, gemstones, other treasures, whatever pays the bills. What about some indoor decorations? Like what, for example? Just something pretty to pretty up my tavern a little bit. Oh shit, do we get to decorate our tavern? That would be amazing. Maybe something useful that also doubles as a decoration. Like a chair? Stealing a whole chair sounds a little ambitious for your first quest with me. I'd prefer something smaller, like a trinket. My walls are still a bit empty. But you don't look empty to me, they look pretty good. Wait, you're being serious? Absolutely. A memento that once belonged to an eccentric vampire sounds like a wonderful addition to the tavern. I'll see what I can do. You won't be disappointed. Well then, I trust you to deliver yourself to her doorstep and the cape back to me, along with a neat little addition to my interior design. Sounds like I'll need a few stamps. Would you like some? No. Too traceable. How about a drink then? I could do with one of those. I heard your drinks inspire transformations of great magnitude. Allow you to dip into parts of yourself that weren't previously aware of. Raise yourself up from your shadow. Say, what do you trade them for? Ugh. God, any joke this person tells is gonna be okay. Let's find out how terrible this joke is. A joke? I don't do jokes. Then I don't do drinks, I'm afraid. How do explorers hide their treasure? How? By dragging them to a safe location. Oh my god. Alright, I feel bad for you. You may have one of my renowned drinks. And some of my renowned infusions. In fact, I just got a fresh shipment today. I was finally able to unpack them. Infusions. Intriguing. What vile magic do you have to offer? For your purposes, I think you would benefit from either some fake crystals or frozen pine cone. The frozen pine cones have absorbed some of nature's icy properties. They can help you form a magical frost barrier that will hurt those trying to harm you. The fake crystals hail straight from Avalon, allegedly. If consumed, they'll turn you invisible, eventually, and for a bit. The duration is a bit unpredictable. I've also got some phoenix chilies, but I don't think those would be very useful for your situation. Interesting. So, what dark depths of yourself are you looking to explore? I fear Lady Evelyn may be of the undead nature, so I must be strong and vigorous if I want my stake in her heart before her fangs are in my neck. Although that does sound appealing. Strength I can do. And some frost armor should help with the fangs. Or perhaps the smarter route to evade her wrath entirely. To outstealth her and steal that cape right from under her pale nose, so that she may lie in the shame of having lost against me. I think such an approach would require a certain amount of dexterity, and some invisibility would help with staying unseen should my speed and agility not be enough. Help me with the decision, Innkeep. Your wisdom is no joke, is it? Now that I have access to infusions, I have to be careful of how they interact with other ingredients. They might alter the drink in a way where I have to use a different ingredient than usual. I should make sure to keep an eye on the coaster shape so that I mix the correct recipe. Maybe I should even try adding infusion first and adjusting the drink from there. Okay. Give it a try. Alright. So we have a decision to make, guys. We can either do this dexterity one, or we could do the strength one. Now this seems to be a rogue. I'm leaning towards this dexterity one. Strongly. With the invisibility. I think that'll be more useful. They seem to be inclined towards secrets and being stealthy. So we'll do Sith Strike with the invisibility infusion, which was the fake crystals. So they've told me that putting these in will... Oh. Okay. Alright. I got us to where we needed to be there. We're already there, so then we just need this. That's a Swift Strike. Right? This is the agility one, right? Doing. Okay. There you go. A drink that all vampires fear. Garlic breath? Not quite. That's a good name. May I steal it? You don't ask permission before you steal something and keep. Then it's no longer a clever ruse, but a mere trade. I see. Did you hear about my new drink, the garlic breath? Ha. Good one. Tastes like not garlic, but just as fearsome to a vampire. You don't find garlic scary? No. Only the absence of it. That makes two of us. Hopefully this will help me evade her. I'm not prepared for a fight, but I won't need one if my steps are swift and quiet as the wind. And if she can't see me. Goodbye, Innkeep. I would say pray that the sun will carry me back to you. But my hopes do not lie with the Realm Keepers, and I shall be damned if they control my fate. Expect to see me again after the next sunfall. If you do not, speak of vengeance. Vengeance makes for an early grave. Or for a good story. Farewell. Did we just send that person to their grave? Or for a bitter end? Oh, hello, you're back. Quest taken. I'm taking this quest and a drink. Great. Did you sleep well? What? Sleep. How was it? Ah, fine. Too long. Didn't sleep that much in ages. Sounds like you needed it. No, your beds are just too comfortable. It was hard to get up. Of course, my apologies. I will make sure to take your feedback into consideration. Would you like a drink as compensation? I think I've already said that. Maybe something strong that will wake me up and keep me up too. Okay. I think we know what she wants. The usual. Oops. Sorry, Andu. Here you go. There. That was very dumb. Okay. And then Charisma. And one of these. Southern Brawler. Kerbonk. Something strong coming right up. That is strong. Just the right amount of too much. Maybe I should call this drink the Caerlin. No, you shouldn't. Anyway, the quest. Yes, the quest. I'm taking it. So you said. Okay. I see it's my turn to make conversation. I miss Fable. Isn't it a bit too soon for another quest? You just returned. It has been hours since I've done anything but sleep, chat, and drink. I'm getting antsy. If I sit for too long, it feels like my bones are disintegrating and I forget who I am. I think that's called boredom. It's torture. That too. Well, boring is not what I would call this quest in the slightest. Stealing from a chimera for a vampire sunscreen couldn't get more reckless than that. It could by taking Elfie along. Fair point. Please don't. I won't. So the saliva's for a vampire? Vampire sunscreen. Can't a vampire get their chimera goo themselves? It's a wyvern chimera. Vampires and fire don't mix too well. Also, if everyone just did their own quests, the quest economy would be in shambles. Suppose that'd be a terrible day for business. Indeed. Does it bother you that it's for a vampire? No. Does it make you nervous? No. You did mention you like fangs. I did mention that I mention that I have a great sword 3 times the size of your head? I'm sure a vampire would find that impressive. Have you ever encountered a chimera before? No, not a real one. Got me thinking, ain't it kind of blasphemous to steal from a draconic guardian? Depends, are you religious? Guess not. Then no. Would it be if I was? Don't think so. Chimeras steal riches all the time, and they were created to be guardians by the protectors of the realms. So stealing something to protect someone else seems in line with their doctrine. Good thing you ain't a priest. You do a piss poor job. Thank you. Is blasphemy what you're most worried about? I ain't worried. Okay. Nervous? Ain't that either. Then what is it? Excitement, I suppose. Excitement? Don't laugh. I'm not laughing. I'm asking. Ah. Yes, excitement. I've never encountered a guardian before. I've always sort of wanted to. Why haven't you? Ain't exactly easy to find one or to survive one. Seems like a great opportunity for you then. It is. What is it that you like about guardians? It's less about the guardians and more about what created it. And maybe a little about the chimera. It's not a dragon head, right? It's got a dragon head, right? Yes, modeled after its creator, I would guess. So let me rephrase that. Is it about dragons and chimeras with dragon heads? They're cool. Also, when I was little, my baba used to tell me at bedtime stories about the dragons every night. She was a great adventurer and encountered many of their creations on her journeys. Not sure if it's true, but she always claimed she met each of the realm keepers themselves. I had a little keepsakes from them all. My sword's one of those. Passed it on to me before she left. One day she was gone. I think she wanted to spend her last moments somewhere else. Like to think she visited one of her dragons one last time. Aw. Your family has a leaving problem. At least she left our savings alone. That sword and her stories are all I have left of her. Going on this quest, it almost feels like I'm stepping into a memory of hers. Did she ever tell you about a wyvern chimera? No. Was the only kind she never encountered. Had quarrels with those feline ones, different varieties of scales, even a cow one, I think, but never found a wyvern one in all of her years. It would have been nice to be able to tell her the story when I return. If I return. I'm sure you will. You can tell the story to me. I don't know if I make up for a good baba, but I do enjoy a good tale. I'll think about it. You've already got me talking too much. This is you talking too much? So you like dragons? Oh, fuck yeah, I do. They're fascinating creatures, very interesting, very magical. They are fascinating and magical. Used to pretend I was one when I was little, really wanted their magic and their wings. God, I would love to be a dragon. You can just ask them for their magic, not sure about their wings. I ain't a priest either. Besides, I'm a warrior. I don't do that magic shit. Expletive. Why not? I like my sword and my muscles. They're a good combo. I don't need to rely on anyone, not even dragons. A little help never hurt anybody. A little self-reliance don't either. If you say so. Does that mean you don't want a drink to pep you up, Caerlin? Didn't say that. I see. That doesn't count as help? It's prepayment for me taking on your quest. Sure. You'll be happy to hear that I have some incredible infusions to offer that could greatly help with your quest. Nah, that sounds unnecessarily complicated. Let's just keep it simple. Alright, what can I get for you then? I reckon a little bit of a boost for this body couldn't hurt. Heard they're quick and toothy, so I'll need to be hardy for its bite. Some defense might come in handy. Or something for the brain. Baba talked quite a lot about how they enjoy a good ruse. Maybe I could outsmart it with the right play. But I need some intelligence for that. Won't be risking it all on a bad idea. Are you sure you don't want any infusions? Just a little bit of Phoenix chili could make you fire resistant. That could be really useful in a fight. Dragons, you're stubborn. Sure, I'll try one. And at the topic of trickery, no, one is enough. Either you mix defense with your weird chilies or go heavy on the intelligence. I don't need any of your fancy tricks. I don't care which one you pick. That's your job. Figure it out. Well, you know, Baba always knew best. It's tempting to, like, see what happens, but she doesn't seem like the brightest bulb in the bunch. But of course, we didn't really lean into the obvious strength. Like, I feel like this game is sort of about growth. You know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe, like, going in on intelligence would be better. Right, screw it. I feel like this person could beat a chimera. No? Right. We're gonna go with this Frosted Lagoon. One. Ooh. Okay, good. And we've already got one towards that, so we just need a little bit of charisma. And we've got a Frosted Lagoon. And she's fire resistant. She'll be totally fine. Figured it out. Thanks, feeling tougher already and dangerously close to catching fire myself. Think I could almost take on a dragon like this. Let's stay grounded. How urgent is the sunscreen? Pretty urgent. The sun tends not to take a break, even for vampires. Maybe he should sunbathe less. That might solve his problems. Might. But when has an easy solution ever been fun? Good point. I'll see what I can do. Maybe they got some mice in the mangrove. Good luck. Won't be needing it. I'll be waiting to hear of your exploits upon your return. Okay, we're gonna feed some Andu. We're going to sweep up. Highly important. Blow out the candles. Don't want the inn to burn down while we sleep. Starlight Sonata, 60th of Wake.